Hello, my relos. Happy Sunday to you too as well, dear. And Manuel, hello, dear. Let me just change my glasses here, since I don't have to be so close. Aliens exist. Now, the proof. Hello, dear. That's so funny. So hope you're having or had a good Sunday, depending on which time zone you're at. I know Marielos is from Guatemala. Manuel, I have no idea where you're tuning from, how old you are, and male or female, as your picture is so small I can't see anything. And aliens exist also. I don't know where you're tuning in from. I forget age, and of course male or female. That would help me to know what my crowd is and who I'm talking to, how to address your questions when it comes. Today looks like we have a bunch of lazy people. They haven't shown up yet. Usually it fills up at least up to 10 or 15 right away. Hello, Excalibur. Yeah, you don't seem to have so much horsepower these days. You're always late now. Oh, yeah. So Guatemala is only 1 hour and 1 hour difference, is it? Yeah, 1 hour. That's interesting. So you're 1 hour ahead. Manuel says, thank you for your videos and beautiful support. I'm from Slovenia. Is it Slovenia? Male, 44 years old. Oh, thank you, Manuel. Is it the first time you're here? I think it's the first time, yeah? Or perhaps I've seen your comments on YouTube videos, but I don't recollect your name, haven't seen your name on the live talks. And here we go again. We have a red line on the video streaming. I hope you still hear my voice. Now we got totally offline. Can you guys still hear me? Or are we totally gone? I wonder about this connection deal here. Elias says, hi Mehran, I'm Alessandro. Oh, I see Alessandro. I'm glad you uploaded the live of yesterday. Your response was very articulated but spot on and psychologically accurate. Okay, great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys heard me for the past 2 minutes, because I have a red line on the stream health and I keep going offline. But can you guys still hear me, or is it just totally not good? Carpe diem, hello. Hello, Mehran. He says, Glad I'm seeing more thumbs up. That's right. YouTube has a bit of a lag today. Cheers to you, sir, and everyone this channel. Guys, let me know if you can still hear me. For the past few minutes, I've been having a red line for the live stream condition and sometimes go totally offline. Have you been hearing me all along, or have I been cut off? Now I have a red line. At least there's a line. Looks like I don't have enough horsepower anymore. Okay, we saw that one. It's coming back again. Manuel says, I like your charisma and your open heart. Thank you, Manuel. I appreciate that. Now, could somebody answer me for... Hello, Sandy. Good evening, Mehran. She says, I hope you're well. We have had snow in UK. Really? This weekend is very pretty. Lovely, lovely. It's funny because within the next 2-3 days, it is Persian New Year equinox, which goes back thousands of years ago, and always beginning of spring is celebrated in very traditional way around the world among the Persian roots, and supposed to be beginning of spring, and where it snows sometimes, it's one wonders, is it a spring or are we still in winter? Ah, so you guys lost me for a few minutes, right? Yeah, it's the same configuration as all the time before, and I always had a green light, but somehow the Wi-Fi today is weak. I see, I was cut off. So what do you guys say if I ask you guys all join me on Facebook today? Because I will set up the Facebook live streaming. Usually we have a better reception, better chance, and better quality of picture. So can we try that? So in that way we'll also have the Facebook people to join us. And now that YouTube is having a little bit of a problem, not YouTube, but my Wi-Fi has a little problem with using UBS. Can we try that? Will you guys be able to connect to, just go to my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth author, and I'll be live there within 5 minutes. Would you guys be able to do that? Yeah, now it's smooth. It's orange. It's gone out of red. So what do you say, guys? Shall we switch to Facebook, guys, and see how many people will join us there, so we can have a big one? Or shall we have this one and I'll have another one for them after this? Which we can do that. Okay. If everybody thinks it's fine now, then it's all your fault if it goes nuts again and goes blank. I already warned you. So we continue. In Slovenia, we have strong wind and snow. Wow, gee, what a spring, what a beginning of spring for you guys. Well, it was just a few years back here as well, that right on the day of Nowruz, which is the ancient Persian New Year, We were supposed to have cherry blossoms or blossoms of all kind and sunshine and freshness and all that, and it was all packed with snow here in Vancouver. It was just something extraordinary. That was probably about 30 some odd years ago, 35 years ago maybe. Hello Prince, how are you? Good to see you. We missed you a few times. Okay, now that we all have decided to be here instead of Facebook for now, let's see if we can have a conversation going. Shoot your questions and let's see if we can enjoy an hour, and then we go about our rest of the Sunday, whatever of it is left. Black hat. Remember guys what the deal was. I can't really remember as much as I would like to until maybe some time in the future to get used to the names. I would love to have the place where you're tuning in from and to know how old you are and if you're male or female, as it is not always clear from the pictures or you know, the names here, like screen names. So the ones who haven't, please do, or at least when you put a question in, do include where, age, and male or female. Thank you. Black Hat says, I'm 30-year-old from Argentina, male. Okay, thank you, good. Excalibur, I see pretty much everybody who types anything, but when I notice it is for me, then I just read it and no need to repeat it. But when it's a question, I will read it so everybody can also know what the question is. Manuel says last week was already 15. Wow, 15. Or 15 what? 15 centigrade. Wow, that was pretty good. Yeah, Prince asks, what happened to the Amazing Things in the World page, by the way? Actually, that's funny. I think it's, I haven't been able to find it. At least when I find it, it's just has the old posts, and I don't see it live. Otherwise, I would have conducted some there, because we had 5 million subscribers. There were 5 million subscribers on that Facebook page, and we usually would reach 20,000 people every time I had a live talk. And out of those 20,000 people, we would have at least 500-600 of them, 200-500 of them participating in the questions and engaged in the conversation. But somehow it disappeared. I think it is possible that they may have posted some pictures that they didn't have the complete copyright to it, and maybe they've been suspended of some kind. I'm not sure, but I think that's the story. That's a pity, because it was a very nice page and with lots of reach, and it was helping us to grow bigger and bigger. Champion, it is beautiful in Los Angeles. Yes, Los Angeles of course is warm, and hopefully the level of smog is less there now, because I do know that's one of the problems exists there. Mind you, I'm planning on having some promotional activities in Los Angeles, and we'll see how we can help the channel through that kind of a promotional programs. Excalibur says, Mehran, do you have any phobia? Not that it comes right off to my mind. I may notice it if comes up, but I don't have a particular one that I can pinpoint on. Perhaps the answer is not that I know of. Black Hat says, I have a female friend, congratulations. She's always sad about not having a relationship. Oh, it's a friend, okay. She's sad not having a relationship. She always tells me she needs a hug, a kiss, the touch of a man, and things like that. Okay. He continues saying, why do you think that is so necessary to her? What are your thoughts on that? Of course it's necessary to everyone. They say a human being needs at least 4 hugs a day. When you have a positive hug of someone that you like, respect, or trust, and it's a hug with the consent of both sides, it's a pleasant, welcomed hug, many things happens. A feeling of certain kind of a emotional security. Oxytocin is created, which helps you to have a good mood. And having that kind of a support makes a whole lot of difference in your confidence level. Just to know that things are okay, you're emotionally healthy, and you generate that kind of a positive energy, which helps you propel to deal with other things that may not be so pleasant during the day. But that pleasantry, that hug, that support from someone that you like, it creates that dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, each one of them for different stages, and helps you to be on a very good mood, focused, and an enjoyable and joyful. So that's not an abnormal request that she has. She may be feeling lonely, she may be feeling or dealing with some emotional problems or fears of the future, the things that concerns her. Maybe it could be anything: studies, job, economics, fears, anxieties. That hug does a lot for her. So if you like her, and if it's okay with you as well, you guys can see each other and start with a hug, and then sit down and have your tea or whatever it is that you would be discussing or doing. Carpe Diem says, Mehran, sir, how does get rid of bad habits? Why is it so painful? Can you, Carpe Diem, can you elaborate a little bit more on the question? Such as what habits? Are you talking about drinking, smoking? What is it specifically? And maybe you can word it different so I can maybe get, oh, here it is. How does one get rid of bad habits? Yeah, like what kind of bad habits? Usually, not doing the bad habits helps reduce doing the bad habits. Just like the way you deleted your memory, and we have a video on that, how to delete your memory. The less you do something, the less that conditioning of having been doing that something will encourage you or press you to do it. Because similar like playing piano or playing tennis or encouraging the creation of synaptic neurons and creating bridges between the neurons who are engaged in learning something and becoming better by practice. and not doing that practice, like playing piano, those synaptic neurons will not be used for playing piano. They remain dormant, and glial cells and microglial cells will recognize that they're not being used. They'll be marked, as we talked before, with I think a protein C1q or something like that, and they'll be destroyed, and they'll be now free for another thing that you want to learn. Those synaptic neurons and bridges could be used to help you learn that other thing. So by doing something, you're creating more bridges between the neurons, neuron ends, to help you to learn and become good at that thing. And by not doing that particular thing, there'll be less of those, and the bridges would be free, would be unlearning something, and then you would have opportunity to use those bridges to be created in the way of learning new stuff. So bad habits are also the same. Plus the fact that if you encourage your mind to become stronger by meditation, which I've explained a very strong kind of meditation in my book, Me, My Psyche and I, which if you have it, you can go to the chapter that discusses that, and you will strengthen the mind just like you go to the gym and strengthen your muscles. There are exercises through meditation especially that you can strengthen the power of mind, your willpower, which helps you to stop doing what it is that you consider negative and you don't want to do. Now, if you want to refresh your memory about the video that I talked in it about how to delete your memory, please go on the video list and look up or search for how to delete your memory and watch the whole video. And to understand what I spoke about, the oxytocin and so on, you can watch another video that I have that is titled, I don't know, To the Limits of Addiction, something like that. It's about why you feel so addicted to the woman that you just broke up with. And it explains there. But in there, there is a talk about what oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin and opioid does. So that would be something perhaps informative on that question. Again, I have a red line on the stream. I hope that turns into green. I don't know what's going on. It started with green and now it's red. So Sandy says, I have been reading meditation through movement of thought and physical action. It has been very helpful. Sandy, you have my book, I believe, Me, My Psyche and I. Go to that particular chapter that talks about meditation, and you will see quite a bit of a discussion on that, and perhaps you will enjoy doing that. There's so many different kind of meditation, and when we were students of martial arts and heavily involved in the meditation and willpower part of the training, there were a few different kind of meditation that we were doing depending on what it was. If it was morning, just we woke up, then there's a good breathing exercise meditation. And then of course concentration meditation was different. You usually don't want to do the meditation when it's very close to sleeping time, because all it does is it puts you to sleep. You won't get to meditate, you'll just fall asleep, which is very good by itself. Now, Alia says, I'm 20-year-old from Italy, male. I'm a student of psychology at the university. La Sapienza. I can't study properly. My mind gets captured by everything except on what I need to focus on my work. And what is it that you're thinking of when you're not able to do your work? Where does your mind go? You know, one of the reasons then the mind is actually causing these kind of, doing this kind of behavior of not focusing and doing what you want it to do. One is that you haven't taught it how to focus. Just like anything else, when you play tennis, you got to do it so many times so it become natural, and by default you hit the ball correctly. All the motions is there. Balance forward, energy forward, distance between your elbow and your side, the way you hold your racket, the angle of the face of the racket, where you hit, connect with the center of the racket and the ball. All of that makes a difference, but then after a while doing it, you become quite doing that automatically. Same thing, the mind has to be taught and trained how to become good at focusing. And in my book, Me, My Psyche and I have explained how to focus, why focusing is important. And as you know, concentration is power. Because as we spoke before, if you, now I lost the picture. It's quite interesting today what's going on. But I think you guys can hear me. So if you focus or pay attention to or consider a weak ray of sun in the afternoon of a winter day, yet you use a magnifying glass and have the sun ray pass through the magnifying glass, and then from the other end of it to be concentrated upon a piece of paper. Even so, the sun ray is very weak, but concentration of it makes the paper catch fire. So it brings power to that weak ray of the sun on that winter afternoon. Yet if you are in a very hot sunny day in the summertime, middle of summer, and you use a projection lens and have the sun ray as powerful and hot as it is pass through the projection ray, lens, at the other end of it, shining on a piece of paper, nothing happens, because the power was not concentrating, was actually dissipating. So focusing power, concentration is power. And that's why you also you need to teach the mind how to concentrate, how to focus. It's not just can do it by itself, because mind by nature is all over the place. Instead of being learning automatically by default to be focused, it's actually using like a projection lens. It's all over the place. Its abilities are divided amongst so many different things that you're capable of noticing and interested in. And that's why you got to teach it how to, on command, be able to be focused without really spending so much energy and worrying about it, bringing it together. It'll be right there, trained, ready for you to be focused. And I've explained how to strengthen the mind and learn how to focus through meditation in Me, My Psyche and I, which again, I highly recommend it. Go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and you can see that same book is $80 US, shipping included, but it's paper version. However, the same book in ebook is only $5.99. And I purposely have made it to be that inexpensive so everybody with any currency anywhere in the world can have it, can acquire it, and there would be no excuses that it's too expensive or whatnot. So you have a choice. You can either have the paper version, I'll sign it and send it to you, which I do that all around the week, or the ebooks that you can get. And remember, ebooks, I don't think you can download them on your mobile. It's a big book. It's 360 pages. So if you think you want to get it for your mobile, think twice. and it would, you know, it would not be helping the channel if some people decide to, you know, get the ebook, then they send a note, oh, the link doesn't open, and then they want their money back, which we do, but that's not kind of fair, because really when the link is there and you download it and you get your money back, so now you have your money and the book. So don't use that trick on us. I'm on to you guys, not to you guys, the ones who do it. So we're going to put a mechanism in there that you buy it, you got it. Because on ebooks, we can't get the link back when the money is returned. I don't have that many of those, maybe one or two, but still is rather insensitive and rather not a good gesture toward what we're trying to accomplish. Anyhow, moving on. Moving on. Another reason that mind, you can't focus, is because mind doesn't automatically have a home in body. Everything in your body has a home. And I am wondering, there we go. Now we got the picture back. Anything in your body, as you know, your entity is made out of mind and body, mind and body. And every part of your body has a place that you're quite familiar with and you know where it is. Look, your fingers are here. You close your eyes, you know where your index finger is, middle finger, and this one and that one, the pinky and the thumbs, the wrist, the elbow, your eyes, your ears. You can touch your nose. Your eyes are closed, but you know exactly where everything is. However, you have no place that you can pinpoint and say, that's where my thoughts are. You know where the mind's supposed to be, the brain is in the head, but the activity and movement of mind, thoughts, you don't know where they are. So mind doesn't have a home in the body as the rest of the body, physical part of your entity, has. And you got to give it a home. And in my book, Me, My Psyche and I, I've explained that. So please do go get that book and look at it, and that will help you to bring your mind to a ready stand for you to use it. Just like when you want to shake hands, you don't look for your hands. You just know where your hands are. You bring your hand out and you shake hands. It's available. It's not like you got to go there, get your hand, bring it here, like your hand is here. Bring it here and then shake hand. It's there by your side. You know where it is, available, ready for you to command it. But the mind, every time you want to focus or read something, if it's dissipating, it's all over the place, and it's not trained, you got to collect it first, focus it here, and keep it there, and then you do what it is that you want it to do. But if you train it, the mind will be at your command. It'll be focused on what it'll be trained to focus on what it is that you want to use it for. That needs a training. And again, it is explained in my book how to get a little bit more knowledge on that. Now, I hope that would be of some help to you. Alias, why am I keep forgetting your real name? Alias, I think you did explain what your name was. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, I can't find it. Okay then. Oh, I found aliens exist. Note says she's 21, female, from Algeria, and real name is Quissam. Interesting name. Okay. Let's go back to where I was. Ah, now I see what Excalibur said. The wind was quite fast today. You almost flew. Really? That high, that bad? And Black Hat says, Mehran, you're the man. Thank you. You know, the good comments I read over and over. Excalibur had a good experience flying. Thank you, Manuel, for the kind comments about the laughing part. Now, Black Hat is a 30-year-old male from Argentina. And Carpe Diem, I missed that question. Looks like I missed some questions. Let me change my glasses. Carpe Diem says, Mehran, who observes our thoughts? The watcher. What is your opinion on that? Well, I wonder if you had the chance to take a look at my video, The Quality of Our Lives, The Watcher and the Watched, Observer and the Observed, Controller and Controlled. We discussed that last time elaborately. And as you know, thoughts are born from the contents of the consciousness. And without going back to our explanation that we've had a few times, 1,000 years ago when the caveman came out of the cave and started learning that he's got some understanding and wisdom or smarts, and then I don't know, somehow experienced something like saw an apple, took the apple and took a bite, and then hell broke loose from then on, or just slipped on the grass or some mud, or maybe on dinosaur shit or something that slipped, and from that action he gained an experience. From that experience he gained knowledge, and that knowledge was recorded in his brain. And few other experiences that he got involved with because of his instincts and certain intelligence that came with the package, with his package. He experienced certain things, and from all, and made several actions of different kind because of his instinct and the bit of intelligence that he had. Then from those actions he gained certain experience, like falling down if he puts his foot on an angle or hurt his knee, and that action and many other actions of that kind or any other kind in his daily life at that time brought about a certain experience from those actions, and those experiences brought about certain knowledge for him, and those knowledges were all recorded in his mind as memory, because we record 24/7, we record everything. And so as these recordings were taking place and the knowledge was accumulating in his memory, that's how the consciousness took shape. And from those information, from those memory, from that content of that memory, a thought would be born. Every thought that we have comes from the basis of the knowledge that is stored in the memory. And from that thought that came from the memory, the field of the known, a new action is created. And from that action, new experience, from that experience, knowledge. And the knowledge, again, is recorded in the memory. And so on and so forth. So you can see that the thought is coming from and is because of, and therefore is controlled by the consciousness, the memory, the field of the known. Yet, that's how it looks, right? Because the thought is born from the field of the known, the stuff in the memory. Yet, what made that consciousness, that memory, that field of the known, is the thought. Because the thought, which was born, supposedly, from the field of the known, from the memory, resulted in an action. Action, experience, knowledge, recorded. So in fact, the recorded ones, the controller, the watcher, the field of the known, is created by the thought. So the controller is the controlled. The watcher is the watched. The watched, the observed, is the observer. So really, observer, the watcher, the controller is redundant. It's all thought. So if we consider that, then we know that who observes our thoughts is actually thoughts. The observer is the observed. The observer, the consciousness, is made from the thoughts. It's all thoughts. Does the observer know that it's all thoughts? That's the question. We have an image of ourselves that we have a watcher controlling, watching the thoughts. That's the image that we have. We actually talk to ourselves, judge our actions, and we think there's a higher self that is watching the self. And we get into that and thinking that we are wiser than what we are doing. But do we, as the wiser part, know that we are actually what we are watching and observing and judging? Or are we separating ourselves from it, fooling ourselves, have created some kind of a stature here in our images that we have created of ourselves? The image of me watching me, the image of me as a teacher, the image of me as the speaker, the image of me as blah, 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 the image of me as a sportsman. I use them when I need them. We quickly change because that's where the mind takes refuge and feels secure, in images that we create, because it has no place to go. And it finds security in images. I'm a teacher, I'm a speaker right now. I'm a watcher of my activities, of my thoughts. I'm wiser than my thoughts. But do I know that my thoughts is actually me? And I'm watching my own thing. With my thoughts, I'm watching my thoughts. Now, we can really go nuts. And before that happens, let me move on to the next question. Amazing discussions. Now, let's see. I hope that was something for you to enjoy. Carpe diem. So it looks like I caught up with the questions that I missed and the comments that was written here, including Excalibur's. Hina. Hina is new name. Hi, I'm thinking it's a she, but I can't be sure because there's no picture, and forgot to tell me where he or she is tuning in from, how old he or she is, and if it is a he or she. Hina says, hi, I highly appreciate your healing capacity. My pleasure, dear. I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation. Rohan says, good morning, Mr. Mehran. It's 1:06. I'm in Mumbai, India. Thank you for letting me know where you're tuning in from, Rohan. I appreciate that. Black Hat says, I have a female friend. She's, oh, okay, we talked about that one. the oxytocin and all that. And Carpe Diem says, Mehran, so do you get rid of bad? Okay, we talked about that as well. Sandy says, I've been reading meditation. Okay, we talked about it. We saw that one. So I guess it looks like I had to go back and catch up with the ones that I missed. Okay, now, wow, it flips open and I lose it. Wow, I missed so many by just a touch of finger. It flew off to where it was. Gee, how did it fly up? Okay. How you look on Alias says, I think my mind is trying to escape the pain and the stress caused by studying. What can I do? Keep my attention above the 3 minutes mark. First of all, you got to translate what you're doing to your life. If you think you're doing what you're doing, the reading stuff, which I know, I was in university, and it's not all subjects are interesting for you to actually pay attention to it. And mine being of the playful kind and not having been trained to be focused on what you want it as long as you want it, because it is not just to be able to focus the mind. The key is how long you can keep it focused. That's where the power is. You can have this winter sunny weak sun to be focused and concentrate through a magnifying lens, but that's still not going to make the paper on the other side catch fire unless you keep it there for a long while, or a while enough, long enough. So the power is not just in ability to know how to focus. The power is how long you can keep it focused. That's very important. So the fact that you're reading stuff and studying and you can focus for a minute and then it dissipates, goes all over the place, because the subject is not necessarily your choice, you're choosing, or interesting to you. And therefore you simply, naturally, mind wants to focus on what is interesting. And it becomes challenging when it's not interested in that topic. So if you translate what you're reading to your life and future, and what you want to build, how you want your life to go, and what use you will get out of that, even if it's not directly about the subject that you're studying, but the fact that you will pass the course and you will end up getting your diploma in university, and that how that will affect your chances to get a job and build your life and money and economic well-being and so on and so forth. If you turn that what you're doing to a meaningful result that will help you gain towards steps towards fulfilling your goals and accomplishing your goals, then it becomes something worthy for your mind to stay focused on it, because now you see a benefit of it for you, not just, oh shit, I got to do this for a grade. Now translate it into something for your life. Now Undertaker says, I have got my Chinese tea, Japanese tea, Earl Grey, chamomile, coconut water, cocoa powder with milk, lemon with apple juice, pomegranate juice, berry juice in shot. I'm ready for our contest. What contest is that? Black Hat says, I have another question. What are your thoughts on hiring prostitutes? Okay. At this point, I feel like dealing with a woman in a relationship is something I don't want right now, but I still have the need for sex. Should I do this or not? Thank you. I wouldn't. Because you're turning something that has supposed to have more meaning than a mechanical action, supposed to be with feelings, interest. You're turning all that wonderful experience into a mechanical action only. You're diminishing the value of sex, which is really, you wouldn't have that kind of emotion about the lady that you're going to be with in the forum, in the way you described, and you will not be focused on respecting that experience and the person that you are with, which by itself, it brings not the complete joyful and positive emotions and feelings and the atmosphere for that experience of sex. And if that is all you're thinking about, there would be no emotional contact. That's a profession apparently, and it's a job. There would be no reciprocation of energy exchange. Obviously, she wouldn't have any other intention with you other than the business transaction. And that's not how you want to experience and exchange energy and feel or benefit from that natural activity of intimacy. So my suggestion for you is that if you just want to, help yourself, then you know how to do that without having to be with anybody. And instead, wait until you meet someone for real experience that would have a complete package of understanding, bonding, emotions, interest, respect, friendly approach, reciprocation. That would be a whole different experience. So my vote would be no. Now, the rest is up to you. Okay, now let's see what we have here. Carpe Diem says, maybe bad habits of being afraid to take risks and get out of my comfort zone. Well, that's not necessarily bad habits. Our mind, our brain is programmed to look for trouble and stop us from taking unnecessary risks. So just not taking risk doesn't mean that you're not brave. It just means you're thinking twice and you're wise enough to look at the consequences and see what makes the smoother flow of life. It's not about taking risks. Who said life is supposed to be filled with risks? Some risks you take because you have to, or you feel it's a calculated risk, and its downfalls or its consequences are not really serious. Neither serious to health of yourself or anybody else, or economical seriousness of effects of it. So you take risks when you see it actually has more chances to come to something good than something bad. There's no honor in being a good risk taker. What does that mean? It just means in some ways it could mean we're kind of careless. Calculate it, see it. If it's viable, then do it. Why should it have to be risk? Risk doesn't mean we're brave. It just means we didn't think it through really as much as we should have. Jerry Giovanni says, checkmate, Mr. T. I found you again. Okay. Salut. Undertaker says, please pray for my son. He's at ICU due to an accident in his flying school. Plane crashed and he's in critical condition. Of course, I hope he will recover soon. Excalibur says, I hope he gets out just fine, Undertaker. There we go. Other people also are wishing well for your son. And that is wonderful. Excalibur says, Mehran, for as long as I can remember, I noticed bad things happening to good people and good things happening to bad people. Is this some kind of a law of attraction thing? How does it happen? Well, these are the ones that we notice. Who says bad things always happen to good people and good things always happen to bad people? It's a mixture. Sometimes bad things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good things happen to good people, and good things happen to bad people. It's just depending on what actions you have put forward which resulted into that, and that action could have been put by good people or bad people. If they both put the same kind of a effort, positive effort and genuine effort in something that would have resulted in something good, then they both get similar results. It doesn't have to do with if they've been bad or good. It depends on that particular project, if they've been intending good and have done what it takes to bring about that result, or they happen to be lucky enough to be in some kind of a place in time that could have helped them to gain some favor of, I don't know, economic or whatever else. Just don't focus on that. Focus on your own life. Focus on your own life, and don't try to make it as if it's something divine. If there was anything divine, the word divine, the meaning of it would not really side with the assholes or the people who are, you know, of shady characters, or, you know. There are all kinds of subhumans living in this world because of their energy is not helping anything grow and develop. They're all out there for their own miserable shortcoming views, and just stay away from them. Go find people with good energy, and don't worry about if bad people, good things happen to them. So be it. Leave it. There's enough good things for everybody. Just focus on your own life. Saruda says, Swazdi from Thailand, meaning hello. Swazdi, Saruda. I hope I pronounced it right. Sandy says, yes, Mehran, I have been reading this chapter in your book. Oh, good. Okay, good, good. Black Hat says, sending you my best thoughts, Undertaker, hang in there. There we go. Good. Manuel says, have you any suggestion for ADHD, attention deficit something? I forgot what that is. I'm avoiding sweets and processed food. I'm meditating and doing Tai Chi and spending 1 to 2 hours in nature. Any other tips? Well, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, usually, as I heard, as you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I'm not qualified to talk about these things, so I just say so ask your doctor or family doctor, because I'm not giving you any advice, or because I don't know enough about it. But from what I've read, it affects children and teenagers, and it can continue to adulthood. It's possibly in some children they become hyperactive because they don't want to focus. Maybe they want to sit there, pay attention, they want to be on the move, and then therefore they do some things that is not helping them, or they're not controlling their impulses, or they just have a little bit of a challenge paying attention to what it is that they prefer to pay attention to. And so all of that, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to diagnose or prescribe anything because I'm not qualified for that. So I want you guys be clear on that. So what I'm saying is just my own understanding, and you still have to consult with your doctor and find professionals who are expert in that field to get advice from. But because you asked the question, it's a conversation. I would think that almost everybody has some kind of a ADHD, depending on how they train themselves. And again, mind should be trainable, at least to some extent. And that, for me, is all about meditation and training my mind to stay focused on something. And that comes with repeatedly trying to put that meditation as something that I do every day, to create that repetition, to create that habit, to create that conditioning of my training. Like anything else that I keep playing tennis, play tennis, hit the ball, correct it, try, and then eventually when I go into court, I'm just doing it exactly. And the meditation the same. You keep focusing and teaching your mind about meditation and keeping it, learn how to focus, then eventually it'll be easy for it to stay, because now the mind, as we said before, doesn't necessarily have a place in the body. That's why it's all over the place and pays attention to many things, especially if we have certain kind of a challenge that, again, I don't know about that, doctors would. But when we keep training our brain and give it a place for it to reside in the body through meditation, which I've explained in my book, Me, My Psyche and I, that could help to bring more discipline to the mind and more patience for it to stay focused on the activity that we are interested for the mind to be focused. And that could be the beginning of it. The rest of it, I better not speak about it because I'm not qualified to discuss anything that could have something to do with some serious discussions about medicine. I'm not a doctor. So, Saruda says it's 3 a.m. in Thailand, so I need to go to bed. Yes, I think so. Hope I can join your live talk in the suitable time soon. Okay, thanks for being here, Saruda. Have a good sleep. Excalibur says, lol, Mehran, modern smartphones can handle much more than 360 pages ebook. Don't worry, haha. Well, I don't worry. In that way, that means people who tell me the link doesn't work, they're actually being very clever then. They just want to pretend that way and then also get their money back, which is fine with me, but I think that's not the way the channel could be helped. Ken says, hey Mehran, hey Ken, He says, I'm a 33-year-old man from North Carolina. Ah, closer to home, finally. It has been 3 years since I broke up with my ex-fiancée. I still find myself stuck on her and at times. Yes, naturally. You're a human being, you're a man, and you have this whole thing figured out and planned, and then the whole idea of marriage and the order that you had created with her, now suddenly she changes her mind and you find yourself questioning about the affirmation, what was wrong with me, why did this happen, and all that so forth. Just remember, if that was going to happen a little later on after you got married or had kids, well, that would have been a real disaster. Right now, nothing has happened. The only thing you're hurt is your image. Nothing really has hurt you. You're not hurt of any kind. All it is that you like the memory of that, and it's so comfortable for you. You just want to go in the memory and just try to fix things or enjoy and feel safe and you know, find calmness in there because it's a field of the known. There is no surprises there, and you keep going back in there because it was pleasant. But I'm telling you, let that go, because obviously it wasn't something that would meet your standards, because your standard would not be marrying someone who doesn't want to be with you or doesn't want to be committed to her promise or her feelings, and she doesn't know about herself or whatever it is that makes her say yes and then say no. So these kind of people are not the kind of people that you want to team up with. Go to even a double tennis match, let alone have a long life of partnership and build on that. So count your stars, thank your stars for the fact that you found about it now, and you're a little bit, your ego is hurt. So big deal. There's so many other beautiful women out there, and my God, you're a 33-year-old young man. It's just, whole world is open. You will be at your best when you're about 40 years old. That's when the real women are looking for a man of that age, if you're not already found your partner by then, because that's when you have the wisdom and the youth all at the same time. It's perfect time. 35, 36, 38, just about 40. Then in your 40s, you're the strongest of all time in your life. Wisdom, youth, everything. So don't worry about it. Move on. All good in there. KB says, a lot is because I haven't found any suitable new woman. I am introverted with anxiety and work from home, so it is hard really to meet women naturally, and I haven't had success online. Yes, of course, working at home and not going out there, so on. You know, there are places that you can go. If you like, you know, bowling, maybe you can sign up for some bowling tournaments, and you may meet somebody in places that they share things that you like to do, or if it's something else you like. I don't know what it is, you know, maybe a tennis camp or tennis, not personal training, but group training in tennis. That would be something you want to start. There's several different levels, and there could be all kinds of people in there, and perhaps there would be women that you could socialize and get friendly. You don't need to necessarily date them or hope for a romantic experience in these groups that you join and participate. Just the fact that you will socialize and get out of that cocoon that you have built for yourself and see there's a world out there, and take this virtual reality goggle, which is your consciousness and your memory and your experiences, away, and see that beyond the virtual reality goggle that you have put on your eyes, and therefore you can't see anything further than that, and it's all limited to the frame of that virtual reality goggle. That's where you think that's the whole world is. Take that off and you realize, wow. So get out of your cocoon, stop being in your memory consciousness, and meet these people as friends and socializing in these groups that I mentioned, some of them, and you will see, wow, there is a world out there. I don't have to think that is all limited to that one experience. And that whole hope changes your confidence level, changes your outlook, and then if you eventually even meet someone in a coffee shop, you will have the guts and interest and positivity to just say hello. Just say hello. And then if you say hello back, then you say, oh, you know, something else, whatever it is you want to say. It all begins with a hello. And to get that hello out, you need to socialize. Not looking for anything romantic, just socialize in these activities that I just named a few, and other ones that you may be liking. It's not a big deal. Get out there and create your ability to see that there's a world out there, there are opportunities out there, and the whole world is not summed up to one woman or the fiancé or whatever the hell it was. Just done with it. It was bullshit. Think of it that way and move on to new and better things. And they're out there, and you will meet them. Even if you don't want to, you will meet them. Because that's the way of the river. You can't help it. Just be patient, but do take action like that I suggested, if you like. Elias says, I will get your book for sure. Thank you for your time. I look forward to read it and ask you for explanation if I need them and have better quality questions. By the way, my name is Alessandro. Thanks. My pleasure, Alessandro. Yes, good. In fact, it would be good if you guys have the ones who have purchased the book and you find things that you want to discuss about the book. We can have a book reading groups as well, and some of our discussions beside your questions could be about things that have been discussed in the book, which that would also remind me, what the heck was it that I wrote? Because I might not remember, but I have a copy of it here. I can look and see, that's what it means, and that's what I said. What did I mean when I said that? Many of the stuff that I said, I don't even remember. I said, oh, did I say this? It's pretty ingenious. I must have been in a zone doing 3 books at a time at the same time. I guess that does it to you. But anyhow, that's a good suggestion. We can do that. And here is Olga. Olga says, different opinions, sometimes it hurts. And did I miss one? Is it starting? Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Olga says, oh no, I'm late. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And she says, hello, good to see you. I'm prepared. I prepared a question. It will be in 2 parts, I guess. All right, then. We have a question. And Olga says, before that, Carpe Diem says, thank you, Mehran. Many blessings. My pleasure, Carpe Diem. Olga says, maybe you heard, Mehran, about the tough situation concerning Russian elections. I try to avoid discussing politics as some of my friends are not liberal as I am. It is hard sometimes to accept. Fair enough. She continues, different opinions, sometimes it's hard to accept different opinions. Sometimes it hurts and angers me. I have an explosive personality when it comes to my principles. I try as I can to be calm inside, but I feel this anger and protest nevertheless. Olga continues, what can I do not to be emotional about these things? Everyone should have their own opinion. It's paramount, but I just do not want to be so nervous and anxious. I see. Well, you know, Olga, you are trying to protect the image that you have of yourself in these conversations. As you said correctly, everybody could have their own opinion, but when you get into such discussions as politics, there's so many different angles that one can find is the difference between his or her views and somebody else's, some other friends. But as long as you don't get so involved in thinking that agreement with you and your opinion represents you entirely, your center, your whole, then you would be okay. But if you think this, what you're exchanging in words and opinion, represents the image that you have made out of yourself and represents your valuation and affirmation of who you are, then you have limited yourself from what you are to an opinion. That if somebody agrees with that opinion of yours, then you are good, you are affirmed, you are held in high regards, and if they don't, you are not. As if their opinion about your opinion is what makes your opinion valid or not valid. Who gives a damn if they agree or not agree? Who cares if you feel that your opinion has been accepted or agreed upon or not? All you said is your opinion. That opinion is not you. It's a fragment of your understanding of the limited knowledge that is out there about everything, whether it's politics or about tennis, playing style, or about golf, or about cooking something. It's all about opinion. It's still an opinion. You have an opinion about how to make a certain dish, or how to solve a certain riddle, or how a certain player in a soccer match should have played or should have passed to or not. You have an opinion about that, and you have an opinion about political affairs. These are all opinions. None of them is supposed to represent you as a center, as a person that you are. To be offended if it's not accepted, or then affirmed and feel high if it is. Because even if this person agrees or disagrees, there will be another one somewhere else that will agree or disagree, opposite of what this person said. So you shouldn't be oscillating up and down according to your opinion or who agrees with it or not. If you find merits in what you say, for you, that's fine. But remember, even what you say is based on limited knowledge. Knowledge is always limited. And sometimes knowledge is the problem, because knowledge is limited, and you think of it as if it is absolute, because it comes from you. You're the source. You believe in yourself. You respect yourself, and you think what comes out of your brain is actually all there is to know. But lo and behold, it never is. But the fact that you will find out about it later, it's already too late. You've done damage to yourself by thinking that which was not agreeable by other people was detrimental to your personality or your mood. It shouldn't be. You should treat it as if it's another opinion about cooking, or about playing soccer or tennis or whatever else it is. The flower arrangement. Somebody likes it, somebody doesn't. You're not going to get offended at that. Not as much as you would be of a political opinion, because you think that this is how control of life could be, and you have created a group and you belong to a group to feel psychologically secure. The ones who feel and think the same way, the same opinion, share the same opinion. And now it is now versus another group. So if somebody disagrees, you think you're representing the group that you belong to, and now it's a war. It's a challenge. You're supposed to make the other sides to agree in order to have done justice to the group that you belong to, in order to have served your group, to have been loyal to your group. All of that is out there in your mind, and your opinion has become the representation of you, who you are. Don't allow your opinion and thoughts. Thoughts are stupid. Knowledge is limited. So don't base your whole personality on what you say or what your knowledge is about things like politics, which is full of shit to begin with, to begin to an end. So I hope that would be something to help you to relax about it and be as democratic as you want to be. Let them feel and say what you want to say. Disagreeing with you, and you can't make them to agree with you, does not take anything away from you. The only thing that you feel is the image that you have created of yourself, and you see that image as someone who would be liked and have agreed and want to be popular and more, and that is gauged by the agreement or disagreement of other people about what you just said. Do away with that. Don't try to protect your image. Don't try to feel that it is important for other people to agree with you in such matters as you mentioned. I hope that would be something for you to decrease caring about it, and therefore you wouldn't be anxious when you talk about it. All these political systems come and go. The only thing is left in the meantime, you're just arguing with your friends and here and there and making yourself pissed off and upset. None of them worth. Knowledge is always limited, so just watch, just observe. Zahin says, it's been 3 months after my breakup, but still without a notice, tears come out in memories of her. That time I secure a corner and cry a lot. Is this common phenomenon, or I'm being too sentimental? No, you know, people lose their bicycle and they cry. So you lost somebody that you had a relationship, you had intimacy with, you felt good, you had pleasure with, and you liked the pleasure, you liked the way you felt when you guys were intimate, or you felt that you have somebody that you can build a life with. But all of that is fine. But the fact that the person is no longer there or no longer reciprocates your emotions, that should tell you that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't the wrong one. So why are you crying for the wrong one? It's like you lost your bicycle and later on you found out that the bicycle was actually going to break down in the next mile, and lucky that you had lost it, you weren't riding it to fall and break your leg. Oh, hallelujah, you should say. Not that, oh, I'm crying, my bicycle is not there. Same thing. Focus on the fact that you're lucky that it's not working out, because it would have not worked out a little later on anyhow. It would be a really disaster when you had already committed yourself further into that relationship. And the crying is fine and perfectly normal. Nothing wrong with it. We all do that. Excalibur says, Mehran, do you think we will invent a pill that makes you instantly forget however person you want to forget? That would be perfect not only for breakup but for so many other things. Excalibur, now you're turning this talk into fantasy. So even if such a pill exists, eventually someday you should just rely on your own abilities to reason things and see how your psyche behaves the way, why it behaves that way, how you have been put together, your psyche has been put together, why your fears and ego and desire, thoughts and consciousness are playing a role the way they are to make you feel the way you do. And by understanding and having that knowledge, you'd be able to move on and so on. You don't need to have a pill to forget someone. What is, everybody wants to have a pill for something, and create that ability in yourself without all these stuff. Sandy says, good night, Mehran. Thank you for your time and words of wisdom. You're quite welcome, Sandy. Good to have you here. Ken says, your new shirt design should have Mr. Grand Dadbeh on it, because your wisdom is that of a wise grandfather figure, and it is a play off your name. Thanks again. My pleasure, Ken. Thank you for your kind words. Dunan, for a new name. I hadn't seen that name here. Sir, he says, how to have the talk of how to continue of dating. I am having doubts about what he feels for me, but I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it all. Remember, we want to know where you're tuning in, how old you are, if you're a male or female. That will help me out to be able to be more interactive in the way that it would fit that person knowing something about her. And on following this question, not knowing your age or anything like that, I just say, just be yourself. Don't try to make or break anything. Just be yourself and discuss, talk as you feel it should be, as you feel it's good for you. Consider what's good for you, not what's good for the other side. you know, just see if it's good for you, then you'd be able to handle or manage many challenges. If it's not good for you, you feel like there are other reasons other than the fact that you like the person. There may be some other benefit you feel it's good for you for that reason, not because you think the person is qualified, then it wouldn't be the right choice. And I'm not really quite sure I understand the question, so that is perhaps why I would stop here until maybe next time I would know the question better. Olga says, thank you so much for this long answer, and thank you for your time here. It's very appreciated. My pleasure, Olga. My pleasure. Excalibur says, haha, Mehran, it's not fantasy. Memory editing is definitely a field that is alive and booming. Of course, you should stand on your own feet, but having helped with the pain is always become welcomes. Don't you? Well, don't you think? Well, you know, I prefer that we, if we can, try to stay away from every simple challenge that we have from pills. That would be good. Doing it on our own, that would be better. Dunan says, sir, I am new. Yes, I'm female, age 27. Okay, Dunan, just don't try to please the guy. Just see if you can please yourself. If the guy has enough qualifications to bring that what you're looking for, and not necessarily about money or position, but about manners, personality. I know the cultures are very different where you come from, because you still didn't say where you come from. I don't know where it is, so that would help me if I know. But anyhow, it is always important for you to see if the person qualifies to be with you. Not just that you qualify to be with them. Do they qualify? Do they meet your basic standards? Do they have potential to have communication, exchange of ideas in a proper way? Or are you going to be dominated for what they want it to be, depending on the traditions and how your conditionings have been in the society they've been raised in? And Black Hat says, what do you think about having a female friend who you can kiss, hug, touch, etc., everything but sex? Would that still be friendship? It's up to you and her to decide. You know, it's still a friendship. It's still a friendship, but maybe it's a relationship without intimacy, without sex. Well, you guys decide how that suits you, makes you feel, or if you guys agree with it or not. I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's good for you or not. You can. And he says, is it okay to kiss a female friend, or would that be something else from a friendship? Well, it depends on you and the female. If both consent and you're both of legal age and you both feel the same way and you feel you want to kiss, well, who am I to say no or yes? So Donan says, I'm Dutch. Sorry. Oh, Dutch. Okay. And where is the guy from? Is he also Dutch? Okay, Excalibur. Yeah, technique is better. Yeah. Donan says, we are having a great time, but the last 2 weeks, it isn't the way it was. I'm scared. You've been too available, perhaps, Donan. He's also Dutch. Okay, just be a little bit more reserved. A little bit like the old time girls. A little bit more less available. A little bit more less available. A little bit less available. A little bit less agreeable to whatever he says or he suggests. So become a little bit more reserved. Sometimes when people don't have enough confidence in themselves, they kind of question the person who pays so much attention to them or is so available to them. It's like they believe they're not really that great or that qualified, and they wonder if somebody really accepts them as qualified or pays attention to them, then maybe that person is not really that hot herself, because why would they pay so much attention, so much availability to this guy who doesn't think much of himself? That could be one of the reasons that he is kind of different or shies away, because you have been so kind, so available, and so on and so forth. It's like the old saying that I always use, saying, I don't like to belong to a club that takes me as a member. So because they don't think they're much, they think the club that accepts them must not be much. And that could be how you have created the situation, by being so kind, so available, so compromising, and so on and so forth. So maybe you like to be a little bit less available and keep your distance. You also be cold. So let's see how that goes. You know, sometimes people need to see what it is that they're missing when she's no longer available, and then they feel, oh, maybe I should be warmer than that, or more pleasant to her. Yeah, you can try. And if it didn't work, the hell with it. Don't be scared. Somebody else, because that's not the only person in this world. Don't try too hard. That's the final point in there. And Black Hat says, thank you so much for your help, Mehran. You're welcome. Black Hat adds one last question. What's your definition of friendship? How do you know when you are a friend with somebody? When somebody doesn't wish you ill, does not create awkward situations or put you on the spot or make you uncomfortable, that's usually a description for one description for a friend. And the rest of it, you can see if they're selfishness in there, if they're using your resources or just your time, and you don't enjoy that, oh, then that's no friendship. It's just they're looking for their own interest. Donna says, yes, maybe I'm too available. How can I change that? Just stop being available. If he wants to do something, says, well, you know, that would be nice, but perhaps some other time. I got things that I've planned. And then he's going to wonder, what is it that you've got planned? And you say, well, you know, they're personal things. So don't have to say, yeah, you know, things that I want to do. There are projects that I want to do. I haven't done that. I've been paying so much, you know, attention to myself and enjoying my time with you. And now it's time for me to be more responsible and take care of my own stuff. And so therefore, you know, I'll see you when I see you. Just be cool about it. Pretend, or you are, actually, you should think you are, and you are, you're too hot for him. So then he will feel it. If you feel it, he will feel it. Excalibur says, huh, Mehran, you're like the Advil of breakups. Okay. Okay. But without any side effects. As you know, he says, I even sacrificed my chance of yes, I remember last time we mentioned. Hey guys, looks like to me that we have answered everyone's question. It's 1 hour and 34 minutes and 18, 19, 20 seconds and onward. So I think it's time for me to let you guys go, and I go about maybe taking a break and doing some of the stuff that I need to do, and perhaps we will have a discussion again soon. Remember, if you like the channel and you appreciate what you gain out of it, please do share the videos that you like, whether it's about breakups or from the playlist, the Psyche, which has nothing to do with the breakups, but has to do with thoughts, consciousness, fears, desire, and ego. Share those videos on your social media, and share the site mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Share these, promote it, let us grow, and let people know there's support available and know about my work. I'd appreciate it tremendously, and you're welcome, Olga, and see you next time. Take good care of yourselves and be good to yourselves and others. All of you, love you all, and see you soon. Talk to you later, and thank you for being here with me, sharing this time. Bye-bye for now.